The Quran is the same and it hasn't been changed. Now, this is something that will be accessible to you as well. Anytime you got a Bible and a Quran, just open it up. Yeah, you look at the Bible. Yeah, you'll open it up and then you can see the preface. And in the preface, they will say, "Oh, there are minor and major mistakes in here." Yeah, so this is admitted in the preface of the Bible. Yeah, again, that's Old Testament and New Testament. You can pick it up. You could even compare the King James Version with the New International Version. So you can take two versions. Yeah. However, with the Quran, there's nothing like that. Yeah. The Quran doesn't say, "Oh, there's mistakes in it, there's this in it, there's that in it." Yeah. Same with the Vedas. Yeah. The Vedas don't make this claim either, that, "Oh, our book is exactly the same as it was." Yeah. Now, you might be thinking, "Oh, that's very nice. You have a beard, you're going to go and pray. It's easy for you to say that." But I can give you an objective way that you can test this. Yeah. We have the oldest fragment. Yeah. There's a fragment of the Quran which is dated all the way to the time of the Prophet. And that fragment is not in Saudi Arabia, it's not in Iran, it's not in Iraq, it's not in Afghanistan. It's actually in this country and it's in the University of Birmingham. So the oldest fragment of the Quran is in a non-Muslim country, collected, carbon dated by non-Muslims. And if you were like, when you're in the airport and you're just sitting and you're saying, "I forgot everything he said, but I do remember one point he said, which was the oldest manuscript of the Quran." Let me Google this and let me see what comes up. You're going to see most likely a BBC article talking about the oldest manuscript, and it's going to say University of Birmingham. You cannot do that with Jesus. You cannot do that with the Bible. You can't do that with the Old Testament. You can't do that with the Vedas. Yeah. However, now when you look into the Quran, how has it been preserved? Because the next thing you're going to say is, that was back in the days. They used to write stuff down. And I remember in primary school when we would have to copy stuff down for display purposes and then use those lines in the back and write it. Sometimes if two lines end with the same word, our eyes would skip a line. And sometimes if I write something down and I introduce a mistake, he copies something down, he'll copy my mistake, he'll make a mistake and then he'll give the manuscript to you, you'll introduce your own mistake, and then over time, so many mistakes will come in. Yeah, and this way of missing words and missing lines because of two words being the same, they're actually called homouteliuton and parablepsis. Yeah, these you can actually find these of critiques of script writers. Yeah, you can just check these. The reason why I'm giving you these terms is because this will probably be online. So when you rewatch it, you can check everything that I've said. Yeah, I'm not gonna. This is not something that I won't be able to continue afterwards. So Quran, you might be thinking, okay, but the Quran was copied as well, isn't it? No. Out of all the holy books, Quran is the only one that is memorized cover to cover. You might be thinking, okay, I'm impressed, but I'm not too impressed because maybe you need to do that mind palace that Sherlock Holmes does and you have to really work on it. No. We have kids as young as 6 that have memorized the Quran, and approximately, according to one study, 11 million people on this planet have memorized the Quran. Christians. I've been here for a long time. I put stuff online. Not a single Christian has come and said, "We found a Christian that has memorized the Bible." Not one Hindu's come and said, "Somebody has memorized the Vedas." Or not one Sikh that comes and says, "Somebody has memorized the Guru Granth Sahib." Not a single one. So, even if some errors have been introduced to the manuscript, somebody who's memorized it will be able to tell you this is incorrect. For example, I'm going to try this on him now. Now this, a regular individual that you know, but he'll be able to correct me now. قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ لَمْ يُلِدْ لَمْ يُلِدْ. Is it lam yulid or lam yulad?
لم يولد.
Lam
يولد.
قل هو
لم يلد ولم يكن له كفوا.
There you go. قل هو الله أحد.
لم يلد ولم يولد.
Yeah. Allahu Samad.
لم يلد.
Lam yalid.
ولم يولد.
I was able to correct him. He was able to correct me. These are the verses that I quoted at the start. That this is the pH test for God. He is one. He's everlasting, eternal. Does not beget, nor is he begotten. And we were able to just bounce off each other. I was able to correct him. He was able to correct me. Can't do that with regards to the Bible. Can't do that with regards to the Vedas. So this is that. The third thing and final thing I'm going to leave you with is the Prophet. Yeah, you got all these people making claims. There's one book You can grab it before you go. It's called Forbidden Prophecies. Yeah, you've got people, the Mayans, you know, the 2012, they said the world was going to end, the I Ching, the Chinese, and then you've got, you know, Scientologists and all these guys. Notice their prophecies. And then notice when the Prophet Muhammad makes a prophecy. His prophecy is specific and it's time bound and it can be checked by non-Muslim sources. For example, at the time of the Prophet, the Byzantines were losing against the Persians. However, the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, no problem. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, within 9 years, the Byzantines will beat the Persians. Now, at that time, they were losing. There was a plague. They were being attacked by the plague. They didn't have the artillery. They were in problems. However, within 9 years, they did beat the Persians. And this can be verified by a non-Muslim at that time, whose transcript we have is called the Chronicles of Theophanes. Yeah, you can Google that. Again, you can check the video later on. Chronicles of Theophanes, or Theophanes, however you pronounce it. So this again is non-Muslim. So it's not just within the Islamic tradition. And the final thing that I'm going to leave you with is not even the cracking of the moon. It's how we preserve the sayings of the Prophet through the chains of narration. I can give you something the Prophet said, and I can tell you who narrated from the Prophet, who narrated from him, and who narrated from him. And there's a narration of the Prophet that he said, don't kill women and children. Yeah. So the Prophet narrated this, and Abdullah bin Umar heard it from the Prophet. Nafi heard it from Abdullah bin Umar. Imam Malik heard it from Nafi. And then we can pick it up from their book. I'm conscious you have to go. Yeah. So I'm just gonna, the reason why I just wanted to give you a few things. So when you watch this video, then you'll be able to check each individual thing that I said. No, so this is gonna be on Sam Dawa. Yeah, Sam Dawa. And yeah, just check Sam Dawa. Yeah, Sam Dawa, and there's gonna be others. There's Dawa to Soul and SF Dawa, but Sam Dawa will be easy to remember. Yeah, check it out.
Brother, thank you so much.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Food for thought. Food for
Thank
thought.
you so much.
My pleasure. Have a very safe journey. Take care, inshallah.
I was interested.
Yeah? Nice. Are you Muslim?
No, I'm not. I'm trying to remember. There's a channel. I know not Sam Dawa. What's there's another one? It's Smile to Jannah.
Come on.
Is that you? No,
Come on. You know it's got to be me, isn't it?
Yeah? As-salam.
Come on.
I remember that.
Wait, you're non-Muslim and you still know Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah. I grew up in a religion in Nigeria is practiced differently here. Growing up in Nigeria, well, the part I grew up, the Christians and the Muslims, they mix a lot.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah,
That's
so-
what I love about Nigeria.
Yeah, they had like the masjid, football, we play football nearby, Rosen, you have to like go in there, sit down, you watch them learn the Quran.
Nice. What's your name?
Osas.
Osas.
Osas, yeah.
Osas.
Osas.
Oh, wow. What an amazing name. Osas. It is a strong name.
It's short for Osaboyan.
Wow. Osaboyan.
Means God has the final say.
Osaboyan.
Or God is a judge. That's what it
Osaboyan, you have spoken the truth. So that's amazing. So you're saying that there's a lot of kind of mixing and stuff like that. Do you have family that's Muslim?
means. Yeah, distant cousins.
Wow.
I read up on religion because I do this thing where, since becoming non-religious, I try to understand other people's ideas and
Nice.
at least see if I can force them to think.
Wicked.
And that's usually why I come here, to hear other ideas, because I used to be heavily religious. I was born into a Christian family, Catholic, and then became Pentecostal. And then after that, I then became non-religious. But before becoming non-religious, there's a lot of reading and trying to make sure, because in Nigeria, you don't just wake up one morning and say, I'm not going to church or mosque anymore.
That's
You
it.
have to have a very good reason and explain to your family.
That's it.
So before doing that, I made sure I knew what I was talking about. And I'm at a place now where I feel like I am grounded in my truth. And I try to talk to people about religion to get them to see why I don't think it's a good idea, especially where I come from, Nigeria, where we're heavily religious and it intertwines with our day-to-day lives, and I see that causes issues. That's why I So I follow a lot of his channels, like, Smile to Jannah
awesome.
and Sam Dawa and all that stuff. A lot of his YouTube recommendations.
Yeah.
But I follow towards the apologetics. I see some of the opinions, some I agree with, some I don't. And I like to be keep tabs and stuff.
Well, Sas, that's awesome because we are all on a journey. We have different levels of understanding, and it's awesome how you're still keeping in touch with the arguments and discussions, and you're
It's
still
never
watching.
ending. It's never ending.
That's amazing. I love that.
I'm always open to change my mind when I see something tangible that convinces me to change my mind.
So, in terms of, you said some of the stuff that I was saying you found interesting. What in particular did you find interesting? And then maybe we could just go on from there.
So there was a video. This was after when the whole Ukraine thing kicked off. A lot of the points you raised there were just facts.